right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's meeting. Before we get started, I will just ask folks to silence their cell phones and their devices. I will have mine here since we were having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'll make sure that it's on silent. Right. To begin this evening, I'd like to read the land acknowledgement and state that the students, staff, and communities of Winnipeg School Division are committed to truth and reconciliation through building relationships with Mother Earth, the original peoples of this land, and the stories that bring us together. We acknowledge the place in which we gather is on Treaty 1 territory, the homeland of the Red River Métis, and the ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Ininiwak, and Dakota Iotis people. Mr. Bodkin, can you please proceed with roll call?
Good evening, everyone. Trustee Evangelista, Trustee Adele,
Here.
Trustee Abate, Trustee Cooley,
Here.
Trustee Chambers,
Here.
Trustee Brothers, Trustee Dumont,
Here.
Trustee Arviso, and Trustee Hefner.
Here.
Thank you.
Moved by Trustee Chambers, seconded by Trustee Cooley, that the agenda be approved. Are there any additions? All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Trustee Adele, seconded by Trustee Dumont, that the minutes dated October 20th, 2025 be approved as distributed. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Trustee Chambers, seconded by Trustee Adele, that OC 05-25 from Tracy Schmidt, Minister of Education and Early Childhood Learning, regarding the 2025-2026 Manitoba's Excellence in Education Awards nomination be received as information. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Trustee Chambers, seconded by Trustee Evangelista, that the Inclusive Education Advisory Committee Report number 4-2024 dated October 15th, 2025 be received as information. All those in favor? Carried. Trustee Chambers, do you have any recommendation?
Yes, I recommend that the terms of reference for the Inclusive Education Advisory Committee be approved for the 2025-2026 school year.
Is there a seconder? Trustee Adele, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Trustee Evangelista, seconded by Trustee Cooley, that the Newcomer Education Advisory Committee Report number 3-2025 dated October 16th, 2025 be received as information. All those in favor? Carried. Trustee Evangelista, do you have any recommendations?
Yes, Madam Chair, that the terms of reference for the Newcomer Education Ad Hoc Committee be approved.
Is there a seconder? Trustee Cooley, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Trustee Evangelista, seconded by Trustee Adele, that the Policy Program Committee Report number 5-2025 dated October 20th, 2025 be received as information. All those in favor? Carried. Trustee Evangelista, do you have any recommendations?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have several recommendations for this for the Policy Program Committee. The first recommendation is that the Policy Program Committee terms of reference be approved.
Okay. Is there a seconder? Trustee Chambers, all those in favor? Carried.
Yeah, secondly, that Policy BCEA Pension Fund Committee be rescinded.
Is there a seconder? Trustee Cooley, all those in favor? Carried.
The third one is that revised policy IGAEA on nutrition be approved.
Is there a seconder? Trustee Adele, all those in favor? Carried.
And the next one is that the revised policy JEC on school admissions, school of choice be approved.
Is there a seconder? Trustee Adele, all those in favor? Carried.
And the last one comes with two recommendations, that policy GCBTF, the leave of absence for political office be renamed political office leave of absence, and that the revised policy GCBTF, this is the naming convention, political office, leave of absence be approved.
Is there a seconder? Trustee Cooley? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you all. Moved by Trustee Evangelista, seconded by Trustee Cooley, that the Environmental Advisory Committee Report number 3-2025 dated October 22nd, 2025 be received as information. All those in favor? Carried. Trustee Evangelista, do you have any recommendations?
The committee recommends, I so move that the revised terms of reference be approved.
And a seconder? Trustee Chambers, all those in favor? Carried.
Can I move
Moved by Trustee Cooley, seconded by Trustee Dumont, that the South District Advisory Committee Report number 3-2025 dated October 23, 2025 be received as information. All those in favor? Carried. Moving now on to inquiries and announcements. Lisa, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I just want to have a quick shout out to the young journalists of Earl Grey School. On October 29th, Media Literacy Resource website was launched at Earl Grey School. So Trustee Chambers, myself, and of course the superintendent was there. Earl Grey students shone brightly during the launch of Manitoba's new Media Literacy Resource website. They demonstrated curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking at its best. Taking the lead as young journalists. So the students had the unique opportunity to take turns asking thoughtful, insightful questions to the Minister of Education and of course to Matt Anderson. And the forward-thinking platform empowers students to engage critically with media, evaluate information thoughtfully, and share their perspectives confidently. So congratulations to Earl Grey School students. And the rest will be on my report.
Trustee Cooley?
I have an inquiry. Some trustees were at the MSBA regional meetings this weekend, and one of the things that was presented was a great presentation on the Indigenous education work that's happened through MSBA and with partners. And it was there was a lot of great information, but one piece that came out that I'm curious about what it looks like in our division is they talked about milestones and graduation rates being one of the comparatives that we use to see if we're representing, if Indigenous students are being represented in the graduating classes and what we're doing to help make sure that happens. The second piece of information is, this is my question, that the representation significantly changes, the graduation rate significantly increases once you start to contemplate or consider the adult EAL numbers. And so I'm curious, because we have a large portion of our workforce and students who are part of that. So not for answering now, but for coming back to the board and letting us know what are the graduation rates for that program and with that program, so we can get a kind of a big view of what's going on with students.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Absolutely, we can bring together disaggregated 4-year, 5-year, and 6-year data. And interestingly, Dr. Jim Silver is just about finished putting together a substantial report on the power of adult learning centers and adult EAL as well. So we can bring a more fulsome report to the meeting on the 17th.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, I have sort of piggybacking a little bit on what you were speaking about, Trustee Cooley, for this Saturday, Trustee Cooley and Evangelista and myself were at the Region 5-6 meetings, and it was a good day of learning and networking, and it did sort of pique my interest in a couple of things that were discussed. When other regions were talking about potential partnerships with the Regional Health Authority, I was curious about that. I also had questions. I was wondering about increasing our capacity and our proficiency as a board in Indigenous matters and engaging, of course, our elected officials like MLAs and MPs to advocate for educational funding model, our infrastructure needs, etc. So I also was just going to say, speaking of that type of partnership, we are looking forward to having meetings with our city councilors, and I will report back to the board after that meeting. Alright, so moving on to new business. Moved by trustee Cooley, seconded by trustee Chambers, that bylaw 1334, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing $293,500 for certain building projects be introduced and read a first time in short. All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Bodkin?
Bylaw 1334, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing $293,500 and of issuing a debenture or promissory note, hereinafter called the security, therefore.
Moved by trustee Cooley, seconded by trustee Chambers, that the rules be suspended in order for bylaw 1334 to be read a second time in short. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by trustee Cooley, seconded by trustee Chambers, that bylaw 1334 be now read a second time in short. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Bodkin?
Bylaw 1334, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing $293,500 and of issuing a debenture and or promissory note, hereinafter called the security, therefore.
Moved by trustee Cooley, seconded by trustee Chambers, that the rules be suspended in order for bylaw 1334 to be read a third time in short. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Moved by trustee Cooley, seconded by trustee Chambers, that bylaw 1334 be read a third time in short and passed. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Bodkin?
Bylaw 1334, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing $293,500 and of issuing a debenture and or promissory note, hereinafter called a security, therefore.
Moving on to 8.2, moved by trustee Dumont, seconded by trustee Chambers, that bylaw 1335, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division to appoint a senior election office official, be now introduced and read a first time in short. All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Bodkin?
Bylaw 1335, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division to appoint a senior election official pursuant to provisions of the Municipal Councils and School Boards Election Act of the Province of Manitoba.
Moved by trustee Dumont, seconded by trustee Chambers, that the rules be suspended in order for bylaw 1335 to be read a second time in short. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by trustee Dumont, seconded by trustee Chambers, that bylaw 1335 be now read a second time in short. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Bodkin?
Bylaw 1335, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division to appoint a senior election official pursuant to provisions of the Municipal Councils and School Boards Election Act of the Province of Manitoba.
Moved by trustee Dumont, seconded by trustee Chambers, that bylaw 1335 be read a third time in short and passed. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Bodkin?
Bylaw 1335, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division to appoint a senior election official pursuant to provisions of the Municipal Councils and School Boards Election Act of the Province of Manitoba.
Moving on to number 9, moved by trustee Dumont, seconded by trustee Chambers, that agenda information IC 13-25 be received as information. Any discussion?
Just a note on that, you'll see that the elevator project at Earl Grey has been paused. It is part of our accessibility plan, our 5-year capital plan. The approval of the funding there, the debenture that you just saw was for design, those design costs that we did incur, but we're still waiting at some point for that project to get back. But we do know that there are students who who've had to attend other schools because there isn't an elevator there.
Thank you.
Moved by trustee Cooley, seconded by trustee Dumont, that the superintendent's information report number 9-2025 dated November 3rd, 2025 be received as information. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Moved by trustee Chambers, seconded by trustee Dumont, that the board move into business matters as defined in Rule 44.7. Carried.
Thank you.
Longer drive than